Goggle. Okay, it mentioned that we are live now. Ha ha ha. Let me turn on my charger. Okay, so it's 8:25 now. If let's say there's anyone who tuned in, we will be starting very, very soon in 5 minutes, 8:30. So yeah, so we will wait for people to come in to join us. If let's say Aurora, you are here already, please let us know because Ming and I are very awkward now.
We need you to come in.
Yeah, we are always very awkward in the few in the first beginning
The first
of the
few
session.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
I noticed
Yeah.
you're like trying to pick your brain and see what to say, kind of like to make
Like,
the conversation going.
Yeah. Oh, we have Yogaki, your friend.
Oh, okay. Yogaki is one of our
Volunteer.
ranger. She's in one of the earlier ranger. Hello, Marilyn.
Hello, Yoga. Hello, Marilyn.
Hello.
Okay, I'm waiting for Aurora. Faster, Aurora, coming in.
Yogaki is here.
So for those who just tuned in, we will be starting very soon at 8:30. We have 4 more minutes left, so feel free to get yourself a cup of tea and wait for us to start a very, very amazing topic today.
So maybe maybe a question to the audience whether they can hear us clearly, whether audio-wise it's clear for them.
Yeah. If let's say you can't hear us, or if let's say we sounds okay, just let us know so that we know that we should be louder or be softer. I'm the one taking your
Yeah, she's the Miss Key.
Okay. I saved your phone number as CEM because you didn't introduce your name to me.
Okay. So since MCO, she's been handling your account.
Oh, thank you. 감사합니다. 문고이사이.
And then we're waiting for Chan to come. Chan will be the one who's delivering your veggie. Both of them in charge of Zone 3.
Also, they are coming. They are coming on live as well.
They should be coming online.
Okay, never mind now. We still have 3 more minutes for them to settle down, sit on their couch, and then tune in. Hello, Pei Fang. Oh, we have Jessica. Oh, we have.
Okay. Dimoy is also one of our subscriber, and she converted to monthly also, like you. So Dimoy is actually my ex-colleague. Yeah. Hello.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in.
Wow, we haven't even started already. So many people comment.
Thank you. Makes this lively. Yeah, makes this lively.
Yeah, less awkward already. Oh, we have Casey. Hi, Casey. Casey is from Minus Zero Waste Store. She actually was one of our guest speaker few days
JP,
ago.
you have follow. You can actually talk to them. They are very participative. They are also a CSA. Talk to them about starting something like this in JP. I'm sure, but I think their list, their queue is like 100 over people. Waiting to join. Yeah. So.
Exploded.
So very supportive. Aurora, call me Jie.
Aurora auntie.
She call me Jie.
We call her auntie.
Yes. Then I'm the Jie auntie. I like when she sometimes then she texts me, Jie, what is this vegetable?
I think she just wanted to make you happy so that you can give her more vegetables next time, huh?
I cannot control.
Casey says she knows.
Follow.
Self-collect from them.
Yeah,
we have Sarah also. Yeah, so we will be having 1 minute left to start the session. So do take do get yourself a cup of tea, and it's 8:30 now. Yay! So we shall start very, very soon. All right. So welcome all of the people here tuning in to our Jom Zero Waste community live stream. So basically, this Jom Zero Waste community live stream, which happening in May, is going to be ending very, very soon, because this week will be the second last week of May. So this whole live stream is all about engaging all of you here to learn all about sustainable living and also zero waste lifestyle. So it's all about learning with each other, and we hope that you have been enjoying all of the series so far. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sui. I'm very, very happy to be your host today. And if let's say you find that there's any technical issues, or there's any you can't hear us, or you think that we are too loud, you wanted us to soften our voice, let us know. But we will only increase our voice. Okay? Yeah. So decrease our voice. Yeah. So today we have our guest speaker. So our guest Mei, who is from Community Eco Markets. So she will give us a brief introduction about herself, and also basically her role at CEM. Yeah, so welcome Ming, to give her a virtual clap.
Okay, thank you, Sui. Thank you for all the hard work and all the people behind Zero Waste, for all your hard work to get this going. I think since May, I didn't realize the Jom Zero Waste community. So you guys really rock for all the effort that you're doing, and you're not doing it alone. As I know, you have a team of people behind, so it's really amazing. Okay, my name is Ming. I'm a volunteer with CEM. I started. I actually got connected, or rather, I found CEM in 2014. And then, at that time, I was like looking. I quit my corporate world job, and I was looking for safe food. And I realized that when I went to the supermarket aisle, I looked at the organic product range. Then I realized they more or less are the same, just that they have different labels. And I actually don't know any of them. So I realized, for the food that I'm taking every day, I actually don't know who these people are. So I went on a quest to look for, where food are, how you actually produce food and all that kind of thing. And I found CEM. So, and I found their concept, the intent, their mission was very noble. And so since then, I've actually spent some time helping them out. So in the initial stage, getting more like social media, getting connected, creating Facebook and all that kind of thing. Not that I'm very savvy, it's just that, so you have one person dedicated to look at things like this. Right now it's more on seeing things at the project level, like things like MCO is a project, like a lot of product offerings, all these are projects, So basically, right now I'm coordinating projects and running projects for CEM.
Like a main project coordinator at CEM. I see. All right. So I guess everyone is wondering about the today topic. So today's topic is it's all about community supported agriculture, in short form CSA, which Ming will be explaining what is a CSA all about, and also we will be learning about CSA in general from community market, and also a lot of good points and some of the misconception about organic produce, or misconception about expiry date that you are seeing on the market shelf. So right now, can we have a brief explanation about like what is actually a community supported agriculture? Yeah, and also how does it related to CEM? In fact, CEM is also one of the CSA model, right?
Yeah, correct. There are many kinds of, generally for CSA is in short for community supported agriculture, and usually applies to organic farming, because that is where you actually need the community to support you. So what happens is that usually what the farmers will produce, and if for anyone that has put your hands down into farming and all that, or rather get connected, you know how much time is needed to do farming. So that doesn't leave a lot of time for marketing, for things like you need to send produce, you need to sell to people and all that kind of thing. That's where the communities come in, and they kind of like take whatever produce from the farm, and then they will disperse it themselves. I mean, they will distribute it within themselves. Now, CM is a similar model, except that we rather than just one farm, we have a mix. We have a mixture of a few farms. So in the initial stage, when the founders, the CM founders, they actually went to all these farmers and asked if they would like to join this program. This program is actually, the concept was actually mooted by Mr. Gan from GK Organic Farm. GK Organic Farm, the founder of GK Organic Farm. When he went to Japan about many years ago, he saw the Teke system in Japan. The Teke system, which is where in those days the mummy group, they were very concerned about the food that the children were taking, also because of the radiation and all that. And they were very supportive of the farmers, the local farmers that are actually farming for this kind of good quality and ethical food. So they got together and they told the farmers, like, just focus on farming and we will do the distribution ourselves. So this group of mummy started supporting the groups, and this Teke system eventually increased into different states, different prefectures and all that, and eventually became the essential growth for organic industry in Japan. They were like one of the factors that created that actually increased, that actually supported the organic growth in Japan. So Mr. Gan saw this model and came back and then talked to the founders of CM. They were originally 3 founders, and he sold that idea. And these, being young men, in those days, they were like very passionate, very old, kind of thing. So they started doing this in that way, and so they made a road there, and they actually went to all the local organic farmers and asked if they would participate. And there were many, who eventually participated.
Right.
And not just organic farmers, they also went to food producers, like rice, noodles.
Dry food.
Those dry foods. So they actually went on food from end to end. That means from dry goods to vegetables. And so then that's how they got participative in that program. So that is on the producer side. Then on the customer side, they sold this idea. That means they tell them that we no longer sell vegetables in packets. You have to sign up for the subscription model where you get the vegetables in a box on a weekly basis. So in it, maybe you will have 10 to 12 kind of vegetables, but they no longer are in the package, in the plastic bags. And in the package, it will be what the farm produced, rather than you going into the shelf and then picking
whatever.
And there's always a rush. There's always people going in and then choosing the best, and then leaving all the ugly ones behind. So there were this kind of, in those days, that concept of how I have to come very early, pick all the nice vegetables, and then and that's how.
Yeah. So that's how you got the freshest produce.
Yeah, freshest.
You are early bird.
Yeah. So, but this method, this method, all the vegetables are fresh, and it goes into the box, from the farmer to the packer to the box, and goes to you. So there's no one touching the vegetables, no one going pressing and then check whether they're fresh or not. There's no more such kind of thing already.
Yeah. I never think of think of this benefit, because like if let's say you go to like pasar, you worry that people touch here, touch there, press this, press that. But like if let's say you subscribe to a veggie box, you will be able to get the vegetables that guarantee fresh, because there's no one touching except that farmers
Packer.
and also the volunteers. Yeah.
So
I think it's quite a good.
so they sold this kind of idea to the existing customers. But as in all things new and all things that require change, not many people accepted this idea. So I think there were only like 6 people who signed up for the veggie box out of the 80, 100 customers that they have. So that was in the beginning. So so that is CM. But for CSA to work, I wanted to mention there are 2 very critical factors. One is a high level of acceptance from the consumers, because what you're getting in the box is actually what the farm passed to us. So they may be ugly, they will have holes, they may come with little creatures, and sometimes snails, and sometimes the condition of the weather condition, the circumstances, some of the vegetables may not turn out to be what we expected. Like some people will like comment, hey, how come the cucumber this season is a bit bitter? So these kind of things happens. But you have to understand that this is where the acceptance level comes in, because this is not something that the farmer can control. I mean, organic farmer can control. Inorganic farmer, you can control a lot of things. So organic farmer will depend on the soil condition, the weather, and all that kind of thing to farm, to actually produce. And sometimes you may not even get the produce that you intend to farm. So for things to go into the box, there's actually a lot of work at the back, which we don't see, which we are increasingly not seeing, right? So the high level of acceptance for people to accept what is in the box, it's very high. It needs a very high level of tolerance. Second thing is the level of trust, because we get a lot of this kind of question. How do I know your vegetables are organic? Because they're not certified. I don't have a piece of paper to certify them. For a small-time farmer, for them to get that piece of paper, they frequently do not have that kind of resources to handle that kind of certification. So you have to rely on people like CM. You have to trust people like CM that we are doing our job. Like I know since the beginning when I found CM, I actually joined them for field trips. I go to farms. We actually meet the farmers, and most of the time we ask this question: why do you want to do organic? Because it's not easy. Who in the right mind will want to do organic when you know that what you farm may not equal to what you get at the end of the day? And there's so much effort, about input and output, right? So much input to get that amount of output that doesn't justify. So primarily, the level of trust that the CSA is doing their job, the level of trust to the farmer that they will continue to farm. So that is the very important about a CSA program.
I see. Thanks for sharing the 2 critical factors. The one, maybe I would like to also elaborate again, is the high levels of acceptance from the consumers. And the second will also be the level of trust from the consumers towards the producer or towards the farmers. Yeah, so I think it's a very great. It's a very, very good introductions about how the whole CSA models looks like, and also the challenges behind, so that we all actually, as a consumer here, also know about and also learn the hard work behind. Yeah. So I guess also because I know that this movement is started since 2012, right? Just now we had a meeting with Ming, so I study a bit. Yeah. And then it's all about the better planning of resources on how to make this whole model as sustainable as we could. And then something that we really, for Zero Waste Malaysia, that we are very, very grateful about, and also amazed from the whole effort behind, is the concept of refill and recycle concept, which you emphasize on your cover photo on your Facebook page. So if, let's say, any of you who do not know CEM, do check out their Facebook page, community
eco market CEM. Yes.
Yeah. So
okay.
So perhaps Ming, you could share about what's the reason behind the refill and recycle concept, and why you do that, and why CEM do this, and also how you actually implement this. Yeah.
Okay, I have a joke that I always tell people.
What joke?
This is about Mr. Yap. Okay, just now
Mr. Yap, Aurora, Superman,
Aurora's favorite idol. Okay. Originally, I mentioned there are 3 founders, right? Over time, when they switched to this concept, only 1 founder left, which is Mr. Yap. So he's the sole guy that's running this right now.
Yeah.
So why did he do this? Why is he doing this? Because it's a lot of work. I've seen, because I've joined him in the initial stage, from going to the farm, to the actual delivery, to the pickup points, to the customers, to handling all the complaints. All the. I've seen the whole, and this is one guy doing it. Okay. Mr. Yap. So he always tell me that he needs to find a successor. So I tell him, your successor a bit difficult. you need to bring the potential to the potential successor to the place where you got struck by the lightning, and then so that the same lightning will strike the successor, and then will continue your work. Because it is not easy to do this job. And he is one person who's doing packing, who is doing picking up the vegetables from the farms. Okay, some sends the farm over, some send the vegetables over, but some goes to some pickup point that he has to go all over in Klang Valley to pick it up. Sending the vegetables to the pickup points, plus a lot more of other works, and customers handling, customer servicing, and all this kind of thing. So, which is why you understand that only a person with such mission and such passion for this entire concept, he can sustain himself. So, in terms of the concept, which he believes that this is the way, a shift in consumer behavior can lead to a change in the environment. Even in those days, they've already seen the patterns, the plastic waste, the global warming. All these are all the symptoms that already show, if we continue to consume the same way, there's no way the earth can continue to support us. So which is why they made that decision to do on the refill, because there's a Chinese saying that 环球地球是从人人有责. That means it's everyone's responsibility to protect the environment, to protect the planet. And how do we do it? We do it starting from home, because that's where most of the consumption is. From everything that you buy in your entire home, everything is, you have a choice of how you want, whether it's ecologically safe or ecologically supportive,
Yeah, and it's something, it's doable and easily manageable at a individual level. Yeah, which is very, very important. Yeah, correct. So I guess it's we are very, very surprised with Mr. Yap one-man show. But I am so grateful that he also has a group of volunteers that is also helping him, supporting him in terms of like being able to mobilize, especially during the MCO period, which is a super. I mean, it's a very big volunteer efforts. Yeah, but it's we talk about the veggie box, right? Could you also, I mean, from your background, we already can see the veggie box on your beside you. So maybe you could also share more about the veggie box, and also yeah. So we go for veggie box first, and then before we jump into dry grocery. Yeah.
Okay, so the veggie box, originally we have a subscription model, which is like you can subscribe for a monthly commitment, or half yearly, or even yearly commitment. Now, what I want to share about this monthly and half yearly and monthly, I think we know because we originally you will try out with a trial box. After a trial box, and you realize, hey, I can do this. I can accept this, and then people move to a monthly model.
Yeah.
From a monthly model, you can actually go further. You can actually go to a semi-annual or annual model. You will get it will be even cheaper because you are committing to a longer run. Your price of the vegetables will be even cheaper. But most importantly, on an annual and semi-annual model is that you are committing to the farmer and say, hey, I am committing to you for half a year and a year. Continue to do your farming. Don't give up. Continue to farm these kind of yummy, delicious vegetables for us. We appreciate your effort.
Yeah.
That is your message that you are sending to the farmers by doing this.
Yes. Right.
So on a monthly model, what you get is you get vegetables on a weekly basis. So we have a pickup model, and since MCO, we also have a home delivery model, right? So you get 12 kinds of vegetables. Now I wouldn't say we are
of vegetables
10,
is size A or size B.
Size A and B. Okay, A is a small box.
Yeah.
B is a big box. So A is more suitable for a family of 1 to 3 person. But actually, it depends. I realize with the MCO, actually everybody has a different consumption pattern. So then, Aurora. So
you already mentioned about the price, but Aurora, please let us to explain what is how many types of vegetables that we have in this 30 ringgit boxes. Yeah.
So for both, we have 10 to 12 kind of vegetables.
10 to 12.
The difference between the small box and the large box is the weight, and then the number of people that it actually caters to. So small box is more suitable for a small family of 1 to 3, which is 33 ringgit for a weekly box and 30 ringgit when you jump to a monthly model.
Yeah.
So whereas a large box will be suitable for a family of maybe 3 if you are a heavy veggie eater, to maybe about 5, I would say. So the ones behind me is actually, or the ones that you're seeing on the Facebook right now is actually a
size A. Size B.
It's a size B. It's a size B.
Yeah.
So and the benefit of having a few. Oh, I have a little crawly here. The benefit of having a few farmers in the program is that you get a mix of vegetables rather than you get highland vegetables. Usually some highland vegetables, you can't get the lowland vegetables. But this one, you can get a bit of the highland and lowland vegetables. So, and we kind of like, rather Mr. Yap and the founders in the original stage. Well, last time I got 13 leh. What a bonus, lor. This one,
happens to be extra, okay, Aurora.
yeah. I'll explain this one. I need to. So yeah, I need to explain this one now because later people will have a misconception. Later, she create another problem for us.
Create another. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Back to the size B vegetable box. Yeah.
So we get a mix of the highland and
Mixture
lowland
of highlands
vegetables.
and lowland, yeah.
So you get and their formula that they've already created earlier on. They kind of like segregated to give you a mix of everything. Like you have tubers, you have roots, you have gourds, and carrots, the root vegetables, and then some. These are like
Ginger.
spices. Yeah, spices to help to do cooking.
Yeah.
So that within this box is actually I would say complete, that you can actually make meals for your entire family. So we have cabbages, we have also tofu, and then a different kind of vegetables. Some like the pucuk ubi, which is from the lowland, and then spinach. So, but this is not all cast in stone. It depends on what's the harvest for that week. Like we also have tomatoes. Yeah. So but we try. They put in a lot of effort to actually
I can feel
make
that.
There are a lot of thoughts behind it. Why the combination is like this and all that. So for people who that this works, is actually to them, they appreciate the thoughts behind it and all that.
Yeah, I can feel the vegetable. Each of the vegetable box that delivered per week are all carefully thought. They try to come with like different varieties, like what you say. We have like lowland producers and also highland producers, so it won't be too boring. But at the same time, also I think it's a very, very important mindset that consumer, as a conscious consumer, we also need to know. We also need to understand that we actually consume what is growing at that period of time, and maybe it's going to be like a week for you to consume the whole month of bayam, because that's
reality.
Yeah, if let's say you are a farmer yourself, when you actually plant something, you don't always change your crop every week, because every crop, they take few months to actually get ready to harvest. So that's a lot of people have this misconceptions about, okay, it's tapioca again. How many times I need to have tapioca? But it's a joy of farming. And also I think especially during this MCO period, people just get creative. If let's say they have this tapioca for the whole month, actually you can try different recipe, because you can be versatile. Like cooking can be very, very versatile. Yeah, so I think it's a very good. Very good introductions about the veggie box. But also an important thing is that if let's say any audience who would be very interested to also subscribe for this veggie box, how do they subscribe? Are they going to go to your page, or who are they going to contact? Yeah, etc.
Okay, they can go to our page, send us an inbox, send us a PM. And we will direct them, because if they are looking for a home delivery model, then we will direct them to the ranges. If they're looking for a monthly model, then we would let them know. Let them know. Let them know which is the nearest pickup point that work for them. Yeah. So those information we have to get the groundwork set. Established before we actually direct them to the process.
Yeah. So I guess it's very direct. So if let's say anyone who is very interested to subscribe for a veggie box, just need to go to their Facebook page, Community Eco Farm Market, CEM, to PM them if let's say you are very interested. So basically they have size A and size B. Size A is a small one, which is suitable for 1 to 3 people. And also from size B, size B is more suitable for more than 3 people. Yeah. And size A is 30 ringgit if let's say you subscribe for a month, and 33 ringgit for a week, right? Yeah. Okay. And also aside from veggie box, right, I believe that a lot of people are not really aware that you also cover dry groceries. So usually for dry grocery, like what kind of dry grocery range that you cover from CEM?
Okay, we have maybe for the grocery, maybe the question to ask,
Yeah.
most usually people when they start on organic vegetables, they kind of like it's because of the health. They want to look at they want to focus on their health, and and also try to eliminate some chemical out of their diet and all that kind of thing. And the one thing I want to emphasize is don't switch to organic because of some illness. It has to be, you have to build up your own body. It's not like, the moment you are ill or some illness have stricken in your family or things like that, then only you start thinking about a change. It should be because you want to start build up your health at this point in time. So then the question came as in like you have organic vegetables, but what about the seasoning? What about the rice that is your staple diet and all that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Where do how do you handle those? Because those things also have plenty of chemical. They have fungicides, to preserve them. They have lots of preservative and all that kind of thing. So then CM went on offering to include all these dry groceries as part of the program as well. So you asked me what is it in the program? Basically, it covers in if I can say in Chinese is 菜米油盐酱醋茶. It's basically everything in your house. The staple in your household. Because as I said, if you want to change, if you want to reduce plastics, where do you start? You start from your household. So we have rice. Oh, it's so heavy. So oil, shoyu,
so basically for everyone who is interested on dry grocery, CEM also do provide refillable concept, which before MCM you can actually buy from them and refill at your place as well, right?
Refill at the space, and also we have refill at the pickup point where you actually bring your containers, label them with your name and what product that you want it to contain. And then you bring it to the pickup point when you bring back your veggie box, and then you pick up the next week. So that's how the model works. Because what we are saying is that this is your container. This is what you'll be using. So you are responsible for your own container, for the cleanliness and for all that kind of thing. So everyone takes care of their own container rather than we at the packing center, we will just because people who donate the containers to us, then we will just refill. If it's actually better that you actually dedicate a container for that each of your ingredients.
I think it's nice that because it seems like you are giving the opportunities to delegate to the consumer to form a partnership between the producers and consumers. So you actually provide your own container, and then I refill to you, and then you take care of your own container. You take your ownerships, and I can reduce the waste. You can reduce your unnecessary packaging as well.
Exactly, and also this is what community is all about. Community is not just about the producer, but CEM. It's also about the consumer. That's where the triangle, relationship happens. And one of the items that I particularly two items I want to particularly mention is the first one is rice. Rice is our staple food for most people, unless you're on a specific diet.
Unless you are like Angmo.
And do you know that we cannot get organic rice in Malaysia? This is a major alarm for food security.
Because
we know the largest organic rice producer went back in Malaysia, actually closed down 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, you mean the largest rice farmers
Organic
in
rice in
Organic
Peninsula
rice.
in Peninsula Malaysia. In Peninsula, of course, we have Barrio and all that right
So
now
there's
from
no
Sabah and
more
Sarawak.
organic rice producer in Peninsular Malaysia.
You have smaller ones that
But the one that is
not
commercial.
the largest, the largest organic rice producers. So right now we are getting our rice from Thailand or India. This particular range is from India. Okay.
What's
And
the
we went
reason the Malaysia one, the Peninsula closed down?
Because it takes a lot of effort to do this, and the reality is farmers are getting older. There is no one to
and there's no
sustain, no successor, and also for them to produce that amount, that in those days there was not enough demand for it. People were not so aware of the danger of pesticide grains and all that. So he was producing it, but it was not enough to sustain. So he's decided that that's it. He's getting old and he can't continue anymore. So the other one is this, the sun-dried version noodles. We have a whole series: the mee sua, the wheat noodles, the mee soya, as well as the brown rice noodles. Okay, brown rice bee hoon. Yum. Okay, I want to tell you a story about this one, because a lot of this food didn't come easy. It didn't happen overnight. I know it's very easy to go to a supermarket and see the range of product and say oh, I decide I want to eat spaghetti today.
It's too easy nowadays.
Yeah, it's
so
so
easy to get food. You just go to supermarket. Okay, I want this noodle. Okay, I just pick. But a lot of people are not aware what's behind, what's the effort behind. Yeah.
So 20 years ago, of course, the pioneers, the organic pioneers in the industry, Mr. Gan, he realized in the market there were no organic. I mean, we talk about organic vegetables and all that kind of thing, but how about the condiments? How about food like this, noodles? You cannot find organic noodles. So he gave some organic unbleached flour and salt, and then to this producer in Malacca, he brought the whole and told them that please make these noodles for me. And so they were they were like, the usual thing. You sure? This that I have to change my system to cater to you and all that kind of thing. But they are now the largest organic noodles producer in Malaysia.
So because of the first intention of having this, and it that factory become the largest organic mee sua producers.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's a very good job.
And they still insist on the old method. The reason why Mr. Gan went to them is because they still sun dry the noodles. So when you sun dry, you actually absorb the energy of the sun. We are talking about the energy of food here. So all these, they still continue conventional. I mean, the faster way was to put it in the oven and let it dry. But this is still the old way, which is they dry in the sun. So when it's rainy days like this, we get out of stock because they need longer time.
No sun.
There's no sun. So so these things didn't come easy. So that's what I'm saying here. It's not easy. Everything that you have here is not easy.
It really depends on the weather, and it uses the energy of the sun. It's not using the energy from the oven. You save the electricity, okay?
Zero waste.
Even with the dry grocery. So thank you, Ming, to explain about the veggie box and also dry grocery. So if let's say any of you from the audience who would like to subscribe with any of their food just go to their page, Community Eco Markets. Yeah, so I guess we are reaching on our second part of our agenda. So if let's say any of you from the floor who would like to ask some questions, you can already start to posting some questions so that after the end of the session, we will be trying to answer your questions. Okay, so I guess everyone is talking about MCO, so let's talk about the whole pandemic periods and how CEM is actually tackling against unnecessary waste, especially during this MCO, right? Okay, so first of all, I guess because from what I actually know and also learn from a lot of people saying that during this MCO period, a lot of producers started to switch their packaging to single-use packaging. So which is something that we are quite curious about why CM still continue with the reusable way model, and also how you actually engage with the customer. Is there any problem when you communicate with your customer when maybe some of them wanted to have vegetables that individually packaged? Yeah, could you share about that?
Okay. I think we're very grateful to Facebook because maybe because MCO, everybody is like at home, nothing to do, kind of thing. So every time we post something, people are very responsive. We whatever message that we post on, as in like we say, hey, we're running short of reusable bags. So can you please donate some to us?
Yeah.
So so I guess and also through WhatsApp, whenever we place with customers who place order, and then we kind of confirm, and then we tell them, hey, do you have any reusable woven bags or shopping bags that we can reuse?
Yeah,
I think in the initial stage we didn't expect because Mr. Yap have some stock, to
reusable bags. Yeah.
Reusable. We started with that stock of reusable, but we didn't expect it to be used up so fast. So then we had no choice, but we had to like start asking people. So it's just by asking people on Facebook, on the customers that we go to, and because that's the easiest way, because the rangers will go meet the customers, so the customers will pass the bags to us. It only makes sense that we are using reusable bags because otherwise, I don't know. I don't know how we can continue with this same concept and say that we will use plastics after this, So no long. It never crossed our mind.
It never crossed our mind to use like single-use packaging during the MCO period.
Never. It was never in the discussion. It was more like, how can we get the recycle bags? It was always like, how can we get the recycle bags,
It's very surprised because I heard there are a lot of farmers been struggling because some of their customers, they actually request them, they want the vegetables to be packaged. Like they used to have it like wrapped in a rubber band, but right now because of customers' demand, so they are switching back to the single-use packaging because maybe some concern about the virus. But it never happened to your case, is it? And is there any
rather people never vocally told us that you should change and give us plastics? I think we were pretty clear that we were pretty clear that we do not. Sorry, I'm getting a message here. Oh, okay. Sorry, because I thought there'll be some message from HQ telling me to. Okay. So it was never a question, and or rather, customers who did not accept our concept, I guess they just kind of never repeat.
I guess also it's a type of misconception about whether switching back to the single-use packaging is better or remain the same the same packaging method. I guess it's not necessary because like what you say, it's also based on the level of trust with the CSA farm. And also, I mean, if you trust your farmers, and your farmers is also giving you a reliability on how they package into a reusable model, I think there's nothing to scare with if you also engage with your customer nicely. Yeah, so I guess we can also talk about the something maybe you would like to share about, because on some of the market shelf, I guess we have some questions. Maybe we can answer some questions first. So Michael asked, is it delivered throughout the whole Malaysia?
Sorry, just Klang Valley.
Klang Valley, okay. Yeah, and
even Klang,
yeah,
even
and
Klang
also
Valley, we have restricted areas.
yeah, and also yeah. So if let's say anyone who wanted to subscribe the vegetable box within Klang Valley, you could always drop them a message. So Aurora asks, many people say that plastic packaging is necessary for vegetables, especially organic vegetables. This is something that I noticed on fridge, not fridge, but supermarket. Yeah, whenever you go to an organic vegetable shelf. Yeah, so she would like to also ask, like, can you share your view on this and what motivated CM to go plastic free for your vegetable box, and what's the challenges?
Okay, plastic packaging is necessary if you're putting on the shelf. But
the cool
yeah,
shelf.
because it has to look pretty. Like I always say this, you have to look pretty on the shelf, because otherwise then you will end up with a lot of unsold vegetables. But to us, the vegetables come from the farm. We pick it up. It goes into the cold room or the fridge or whatever. And then the next day when it's ready, then we pack it into the box, and then you get it in a box or in the paper bag. So it's not necessary to us, because it only like interchange 3 hands, and these people are just the packers, and then you wash your vegetables and then you cook them, and you basically get fresh vegetables. I think a lot of subscribers who has subscribed to vegetables, you can tell the difference in terms of the freshness. Are you saying that vegetables in plastics are fresher compared to this? No, I mean, you be your judge. Our customers are those that have been eating supermarket vegetables and the vegetables in the box. You can tell which one is fresher, So
definitely,
yeah. So to us, it never crossed our mind to go back to plastics. It's never that intention. It's not going to happen, But having said that, we have a few, like we reuse the plastics, like some of the vegetables, like the tianqi, and the tomatoes, we have to put it so that it doesn't get crushed and all that kind of thing. But you can send it back and then we reuse it again. So that's our way of, but we didn't create that plastic in the first place, okay? We are reusing them so that, we find a way to use them.
I guess it's I think I guess it's very important that you mentioned about the reason being why the vegetables is packaged on the market shelf. It has to be look good so that people can choose it, because if let's say it has any spoilage, the cost behind organic vegetables is much more higher. So I believe the supermarket would not want to bear with the cost, so they just wanted to package it nicely and to distribute. But in terms of like CM, because you already have the mindset of like plastic packaging is something that is not your value, so that's why you are choosing something that is not against, but that is something that is even better than plastic packaging, which is naked packaging that you are using reusable bags. Yeah, and I think I saw some questions. Hi, can you talk about the pricing of the organic vegetables and how does the community set their price? Is there a standard for it to avoid overpricing? But I guess CM has one problem. It's because is there any noise?
There is something like an echo.
Some background noise. Yeah, so I guess this one I have some input to Pei Fang. In what I understanding, DM never increased their price since 10 years ago. Yeah, so I think you also asked a very good question. Maybe Ming, you could explain on this.
I actually wanted to talk about this. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing this up. Yeah, CM never increased the price since 2012. And for you to, so it pains my heart. It pains in my heart when people tell me the vegetables are very expensive. Okay. So for 30 or 33 ringgit of vegetables, or even a 50 ringgit vegetables that you get in your box, if you market to market, I actually did a survey 2 years ago for presentation. Our vegetables are 30% cheaper than the market. The reason why are we cheaper? Because we're getting the same vegetables. Why are we cheaper? Because we don't need to put in a supermarket shelf. We don't need to
You don't need to
store
rent
it.
the space.
Yeah, I don't need to rent the space. I don't need to have a person every day going through supermarket to make sure that they look pretty, tear off the animal. So there's a lot of work to maintain vegetables on the supermarket shelf. To us, we get the vegetables the next morning. Before we pack, we check, and then we trim the vegetables.
Yeah.
But sometimes we get frosted vegetables, and that is a loss to CM actually. You know, so he actually, for perishables, is a very high cost to him, and he has never increased the price. So I don't know how he can sustain himself, and which is why we cannot pay rangers to do delivery. We cannot pay anyone else. Everyone has to be a volunteer. There's no more margin. You know, from a 33 ringgit weekly box, you're getting a 30 ringgit box. From a 55 ringgit big box for your whole family, you're getting a 50 ringgit monthly subscription. How much do you pay when you go out for a Starbucks for the entire family? When you go for an outing for the entire family, how much does it? Just one meal. This is one box for the entire week. So it pains my heart when people tell me the vegetables are very expensive. These are, and organic vegetables are only for the elite because it's too expensive, it's too out of market and all that. But look at these vegetables here. Go to our Facebook, look at the vegetables that you're getting. You're getting good quality vegetables. You're getting fresh vegetables and very delicious vegetables. For those, I think someone mentioned, I saw it. Once you've tasted the vegetables, there's actually no turning back. I'm sorry, I have to warn you first. I have to give you this warning. There's no turning back because
Okay, we see how long Aurora can tahan.
because the vegetables doesn't taste the same anymore. Yesterday we had a appreciation night to some of our very old, our very supportive pickup points, and this pickup point had been supporting Mr. Gan since 25 years ago. She's been eating organic vegetables. And those days people don't know about organic. 25 years ago, can you imagine? So Mr. Gan was like, she was like, oh, you're a farmer, okay, I don't mind eating your vegetables and all that, And after that, Mr. Farm got also disappointed with a lot of things, like no one wants his vegetables and all that. And so there was a period he took a sabbatical that he doesn't want to do farming anymore. So she had to eat outside vegetables. So then she knows. Then at that point she knows what's the difference between the vegetables that is from the farm and what's the vegetables from outside. So that's the thing. So the pricing, I can tell you pricing. This Superman there, I always say his calculator, or rather his abacus, is out of order. So his calculation, I don't know if we can sustain this anymore because there are a lot of costs involved. There are a lot of high costs.
So maybe Pei Fang, we are not a good person to ask about like how does the community set their price because
we are underpriced.
So I guess we try to answer your questions. I think also Zini has some questions saying that are there other players with similar models in Malaysia, and who are the main not to say competitors, but what are the other CSA models that are available in Peninsular Malaysia? Would you have some?
There are many, especially in recent years, there are many people who come up with models, and all of them with the same intention of supporting the local farmers. So they're just like slight differences. Some are more technical savvy. Some have apps where you can actually go into to support and all that. But I would say if you want to look for one that's truly zero or low waste, zero waste, about 90% zero waste, I would urge those players to actually move into this direction, because we cannot have more of this. We need more people to do the same stuff.
Yeah, I guess it's the intention of this session is also to all the CSA, not to say competitors, but CSA firms around Peninsula Malaysia. If you ever listen to this sessions, I guess you already know how CM do it without unnecessary packaging. So if let's say they can do it since 2012, you also can do it as well, because I guess it's just a mindset behavior and also the whole mindset change. Yeah.
I think the market is receptive to this anymore. Is already receptive to this. So people, you have to start communicating and educating. There's a lot of effort needed to educate and tell people that you're doing this model, and then and we cannot go to Penang. We cannot send to Penang, Pahang, Johor, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What you should do is establish your own community in all these areas. Yeah, because
so that's why it calls community supported agriculture.
Correct,
you look for your own solutions at your own community, and you start from there.
Correct, exactly.
Yeah. Ara said, now I also cannot let many non-organic vegetables have bitter taste. The thing is, CM Vegibox is about the same as the price I paid at Pasar. So all of you know, the price that you pay at Pasar might be also the same price that you got the Vegibox from CM, which is totally 100% organic. Yeah. Okay. I guess we can go for one more questions if we have before we end the sessions. So if let's say there is no questions on the floor, I will actually go with our second last questions, because I think this is a very nice input that you can share about, like regarding to the dry groceries, right? I would say like you might be having some feedback about regarding the expiry date that you see on the market shelf at supermarket, and what's the difference between when you provide the dry groceries at CM to your consumers? Yeah.
So we get questions like this. What is your expiry date of your flour? What's the expiry date of your noodles and all these kind of things? Actually, in the beginning, when I got this question, I kind of like, it kind of took me aback, because I never thought about this, I never thought about the expiry date.
Yeah.
But the way how a refill program works, or rather a bulk store, like now we have a lot of zero waste and bulk store and all that. I think all of us strive on the same concept, other than reducing the plastics for each of them, and by going bulk. You are also what we are trying to promote here is that buy the volume that you need for 1 or 2 months. Don't stock up. Of course, during MCO, I don't know. For me, I didn't feel any impact, because I always have a little bit of everything in the shelf. So I didn't feel that impact. But buy the quantity that you need, so that you can always get fresh groceries. You can always get fresh dry goods, because this is how it goes. Imagine we have a bulk packet of flour. Okay, we have both unbleached flour and bread flour. If you have a packet of 25 kilo in a big gunny bag, if we have 25 families buying a kilo each, we sold out the entire batch of flour. And if you use this 1 kilo within 1 or 2 months, does it matter that the expiry is 3 years down the road?
Yeah. So I guess
Right?
this is a very, very important point that you shared with me earlier, saying that the expiry date that mentions on the market shelf and how does it really affect when consumer actually order the dry food from you and also ask for the expiry date. But I guess it's also the matter of how you actually distribute from the bigger packaging and also the matter of the consumer to actually buy the amount that they only need within that certain period of time, and then they can stock up afterwards after they finish it. And this
Yeah.
by doing this, you are able to also reduce any unnecessary food waste and also any spoilage of food even. Yeah.
The other point to note is that these are organic produce, so they don't contain preservative, they don't contain fungicide, they don't have sulfur, to preserve them. So
Yeah.
it's not something for you to buy and stock up for 1 or 2 years. You need to consume them within 1 to 2 months. The max
Yeah.
is 3 months, like noodles like this, before the weevils will come. But even if the weevils come, what's the best thing that our grandmother did or my mother did in those days when we actually can see weevils in our rice? Did you
Put
notice
it
that you
under
don't?
the sun.
Yeah. Did you notice that you don't see weevils in rice anymore? Does it tell you anything?
Because
Does it?
it's not, it has some chemical pesticides,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I guess we are almost reaching the end of the session. So I would like to also thank you everyone for joining this sessions. The session won't be very, very completed without any of you joining here. So maybe I can have Ming to give us some last advice regarding to any thoughts. Yeah. To
I
our
think,
audience.
I wanted to end maybe a parting statement. I hope the MCO has given us some enlightenment as to our food system.
Yeah, the
Our
food insecurity.
food insecurity is actually true. It actually we are very vulnerable to shortage of food. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if we are? But we are very thankful because with CEM and the level of understanding and communication with the farmers, we actually didn't have any destructive supply. So I hope this MCO period gives us a time where we actually
Rethink our food source.
rethink about your food source, rethink about your choices of food, because a pandemic is when we are going out of nature. We are not living in harmony with nature. And there are many, many factors why it happens. So I hope that the whole MCO thingy gives us a time to actually reflect and then decide what we are going to do forward, what we are going to do move forward. We're going to support more local food, support more local farmers, support local programs, support ethical and safe food. I
Yeah.
think, that's my
Most
personal commitment. Yeah.
And I think most importantly, that like what you mentioned, by actually supporting all these local farmers, we are able to, how to say, to overcome the food insecurity, because by supporting local farmers, they are able to grow more foods to the consumers. And by growing more foods to the local consumers means that we are not actually relying too much on the imported food. So the next
Correct.
time when we have like pandemic or something like that, it's okay because we have our own local food supply chain. So I think this is a very, very important message to tell the consumer or to tell any one of our friends and families. By supporting local farmers, you are able to not relying too much on the outsource. Yeah, and we will be safer. And maybe by doing a little bit more from our part to support businesses like CEM, 打广告 a bit, advertisement a bit. Yeah, so CEM. Yeah. Also, you can try to start grow your own food. So there are a lot of
Yes.
ways to really, to tackle the insecurity of the food source. And also, very, very important point from my perspective of view is that if let's say this Monday when you go to supermarket or when you go to Pasar Tani, you wanted to buy fruits. but the fruits is not available, it's out of stock, it's totally normal because the food is simply not growing according to the seasons. So if let's say something that is not growing in the season, you can't find it, it's all right because you will be able to find something that is grow according to the season. So just go with the flow and to understand where's your food come from, and always support something that is grown locally and also based on the season, because that the case, if let's say that's the case, you are able to reduce the overall carbon footprint, and live a better life. Very cheesy, but yeah. So thank you once again, Ming, for joining us for this live stream, and also I hope that all these sessions are able to give you some input about organic produce and also the whole local food supply chain. So if let's say any of you who are very interested, do follow Community Eco Market on Facebook page. PM them for more information, and we will be having our last week of community live stream next week, because it's the end of it's not the end, it's almost end of the month. So if let's say you would like us to continue more of this kind of live stream, do also let us know so that we are knowing some comments, suggestion from you. All right, so we will see you on our next live stream this coming week. Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you, Ming, once again for joining us, and thank you our volunteer back end, Sabrina,
thank you.
do all the back end here, and thank you all of you. Have a great night and Selamat Hari Raya.
Yeah, Selamat Hari Raya. Thank you, Zero Waste, for the bye-bye.
Jumpa lagi.
Okay. Bye.